Hey, good Monday afternoon. I'm back at you with a new video. I'm talking about unseen aspects of VA disability ratings and are you affected by the 2025 overhaul? So there are several unseen aspects of VA disability ratings which involve complex things beyond simple calculations and a percentage based on daily diagnostic codes. So for one, focus on functional impairment. Beyond diagnosis, while a specific diagnosis is necessary, the VA primarily focuses on how the condition affects your daily life and ability to function both occupationally and socially. That's really important. You got to be aware of that. And then the impact on daily life. Consider not just the diagnosis itself, but also the severity, the frequency that you have in these conditions, and the duration of your symptoms, and how they limit your ability to work, perform daily tasks, and engage in social activities. So, especially you going for a mental health rating, you got to be able to articulate all of those things. Combined ratings can be counterintuitive. The VA uses what's called a whole person theory. The VA uses a combined rating system based on the whole person theory. This means they don't simply add individual ratings, but rather calculate the percentage of remaining function after accounting for each disability. So, and then they also use what's called a combined rating table. This can result in a combined rating that appears lower than the sum of the individual ratings. For example, if a veteran with a condition rated at a 30% and they had another one rated at 20%, logically we're going to say, hey, 30 plus 20 is 50%, but that's not the way it works. You're going to have a combined rating of 40%, not the 50%, to reflect the overall impairment. And that has to go into what's called the VA math, which they totally do different than what you would think they use. So, but that's just the way that works. The importance of evidence and documentation. Comprehensive evidence, providing a strong medical evidence, including doctor's reports, treatment history, and diagnostic test results. All that's crucial. You got to have that. Those doctor reports, they need to be up to date. Your treatment history need to be up to date. Making sure that you're going to the doctor so that everything is always up to date. Personal and buddy statements. Your personal statement and statements from friends and family can provide valuable insights into your functional limitations and daily struggles. As an example, let's just say if you're married. No one knows you better than your spouse. They know what you're capable of doing. They know your symptoms. They know how you affected in the morning. They know how you affected at night. So with them writing a personal statement, that could go a long ways in helping you win your disability claim. And then performance evaluations. Past work performance evaluations can be useful to show the impact of your condition on your ability to work. So you might not have a good past performance evaluations on your job based on your service-connected disabilities. Well, if you can show that, that's just going to add more credibility to your claim. So yeah, that could go a long ways in helping you win your claim. Potential for overlap and pyramiding. Avoiding pyramiding. The VA will assign only one rating for conditions with similar symptoms, even if they have different diagnoses. This avoids pyramiding or receiving multiple ratings for the same symptom, but they're not going to pay you for the same symptoms over and over. Then it don't work like that. And then there's an exception for eating disorders, which is an exception is made for eating disorder, which is totally separate. It's a total separate rating formula, totally separate than what you would normally use. And then there's some special situations and rules also that you have to go by, that the VA uses. TDIU, total disability based on individual unemployability. So if you can't work due to your service-connected condition, you may be eligible for a 100% rating, even if your combined rating is below that level. And when I started out, I think I was at 80%, and I didn't know how I was going to get to 100, so I actually put in for the TDIU. Um, Everything was there, but whatever reason, I still got declined from the TDIU. But there's a lot. I do know a lot of veterans who receive TDIU, so it can definitely work in your favor. So if you think you stuck at 80 or 90%, and it's really affecting your ability to work, I would definitely look into that. And then we also have what's called, the VA has temporary ratings. Temporary 100% ratings are possible during hospitalizations. Now, they got to be hospitalization from a service-connected condition, recovery from surgery, or for unstabilized conditions. All of that got to be from a service-connected disability, not because you ended up in the hospital and can't work your job, but it had nothing to do with your service-connected condition. No, it got to be from that. So, as an example, I had a total shoulder replacement for that joint replacement. It was a lot of rehab. So they gave me 100% temporary for 12 months. And then after 12 months, I had to come off of it, and then I went back to 80%. So it is available. Know that it's available, because you never know if you putting off having a surgery because you don't think that you're going to have the income coming in. Well, that is available. So that's something that you can look into. But make sure that it's a service-connected disability. And then rules protecting ratings. There's a 5, 10, and a 20-year rule that offer protection against reductions under specific circumstances. But I always tell people one thing. If it got something to do with fraud, all bets are off. All that 5, 10, 20 year, you can cancel all of that. You don't want to do anything where you're committing fraud, because eventually the VA going to catch you. So it doesn't make sense to even do that. But there are things in place like the 5, 10, and 20-year rules to give you some protection on your ratings. And then we have what's called rater discretion. Totality of evidence. While the VA uses established criteria, the rater can also use their discretion based on the totality of evidence to determine a rating that best reflects the veteran's condition. Now, it's most definitely supposed to work in the veteran's favor. Now, a lot of veterans will tell you they don't agree with that, but it's actually supposed to work in the veteran's favor. Okay, and then potential for appeal. If you believe your rating is too low, you have the right to an appeal. Originally, when I got my 10% for the shoulder, I figured that rating was too low, and I put in an appeal, and I got it up to 20%. And then based on your rating for that shoulder, that joint, the most I can get for that non-dominant shoulder or non-dominant hand was 20%. For non-dominant, if it was my dominant arm, it would have been 30%. So I did end up getting the 20%. And then also understanding these less obvious aspects of VA disability rating system can empower you to provide a more effective claim and ensure you receive fair compensation for your disabilities. So, if you don't feel that you got the rating that you deserve, if you use somebody that's accredited, use an attorney that's accredited, or even a service organization, a VSO, where you don't have to pay no money. But make sure to give yourself the best shot of getting your best rating. Make sure that you use somebody that's accredited. This is just for informational purposes here. I'm not an accredited person. This is just for information, for education. Get you somebody that's accredited and work with them, and get the rating that you deserve. Hey, that's all I got for you guys today. You see a veteran, help a veteran. I'm out.